Okay, all right, Kevin. So we're gonna interview this portion, we're going to videotape the interview portion of this because our ownership is not all local. That way they can go and watch your video as if they were here. So even though we've worked together, just pretend like I don't know you and answer the questions. You know, don't go, Meredith, you know the answer because I know how you are.
I'll wait to
I waved also when I did mine. Okay. All right, so Kevin, tell me what skills and knowledge you think you can bring to our team.
Well, I've worked in multifamily for a little over 13 years now.
Mhm.
I mean, leadership, I was a supervisor for 6 or 7 years. Obviously, even though I was a supervisor, I was still a technician.
Sure.
So I still did all my work. Mainly leadership and just good positive work environment.
So with your 13 years in multifamily, you would say you're comfortable with fair housing laws? What
Yes.
you say, what I say.
Yes.
Okay. How would you define leadership? Or what makes a good leader? How about that? That's a little bit better.
A leader doesn't just bark out orders. A leader, you don't ask somebody to do something that you're not going to do yourself.
Right.
It's the best way I can really say. You know, you stay positive reinforcement,
Set the tone.
set the tone, yeah.
Gotcha. Describe for me some safe work practices you've learned from previous employers, and how do you rate your safety record? Or what are your thoughts on property safety experience?
Well, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Like the shop, is it OSHA compliant? Is it an OSHA compliant shop, or is it just a maintenance shop, or?
It's just, right now it's just a maintenance warehouse, and so, we are working towards getting the eye wash station and all the things that we need in there to make it OSHA compliant.
Okay.
You've had OSHA training also.
Yeah, I've had OSHA training, and I'm pretty well knowledge in most OSHA compliance.
Gotcha. How would you motivate other team members?
I mean, the easiest way to motivate somebody is get out there with them and work right by them. You know, good positive leadership is right there with your.
Okay, and so in a team environment, what role do you usually take on?
I'm a leader in a team environment. I lead, but I also work well with others. If I'm not in charge, I don't have an issue with not being the guy in charge. I don't have to be that guy. But
Right.
you know, I take constructive criticism well.
That you do, that's true. Yeah, so then what would be your philosophy towards work in general? I mean, when you get to a property, let's say you're in a maintenance supervisor position, how do you feel about your property?
I mean, you get out of it what you put into it. If you're not, that kind of sums it up.
I love the little notebook you've got there,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you were whipping that out when you got here. Were you taking notes, like when you did you drive around the property?
Yeah, that's the first thing I did when I got here. I drove around the property, took notes.
Anything you saw that stood out, or?
Curb fit is always your most important. People don't really want to, if they see trash, see stuff like that, nobody really wants to move into a place that's not pretty,
Right.
doesn't look. You know.
Whose job is it to pick up trash on the property?
Everybody.
That's right. What would be 3 things that you would need to be successful in this job?
Good leadership, good team members. I mean, just all around positive.
Like some structure.
Good
And-
quality structure, yeah.
We've done some changes to our property dynamic that this company is, I guess, they've gone back to a more formal, or I guess what you would consider industry standard for the hierarchy on the property. So with your 13 years of experience, what are you used to as far as a chain of command? Let's say you're the maintenance supervisor, so then where do you fall in the chain of command? Who's at the top? Who's underneath you?
I mean, only people I really have to worry about, if I'm a supervisor, the only people I worry about are my guys. They're make sure what they do what they need to do. Typically you have always been over.
Right.
You know, you got your property manager is always gonna be over your maintenance supervisor.
Right.
You know, a lot of whoever's working in the office, you know, they're giving me my work orders to hand out and for me to do. So typically listen to anybody in the office a little more than
Right.
that, and then, you know, whoever's above them.
So if there was an on-call emergency situation and you came out and you needed to call a vendor, it was just middle of the night, you don't know what to do, or we really need to call out Roto-Rooter or what have you,
Call you first.
okay,
I mean, you always want to call your property manager first, make sure. In some instances, I've had funds just weren't there, so you had
right.
to figure it
Well,
out.
you're used to operating off of a budget.
Yeah, so.
Right. You say some things you do, so give me a situation where you may not have known what to do and how you figured out what to do and how you fixed the problem, I guess, more or less.
A situation where I didn't know what to do.
Well, I mean, give me, there's always, I don't want to say you didn't know what to do, but a situation where you had to think outside the box and how you went about doing it. Some of these they're interview
Yeah.
questions, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of,
So let's say you get in a situation you're not 100%
if
sure
I'm
what
not
to do.
100% sure what to do, I'm always going to call whoever's over me and actually say, hey, look, this is a situation I've got. I don't really know, I think I know how to do this, or I don't know how to do this. What's your opinion? How do you always go
Sure. So you're troubleshooting more or less?
call another one of your techs, you know. If I'm supervisor, I still know everything.
Sure.
You
Right.
know, if you quit learning,
Then yeah, exactly. You never quit
then you
learning.
never quit learning.
What would you say, and you know I ask this on every interview, what is your strongest area of maintenance? Like, you know, there's plumbing, electric, HVAC, what are you the strongest at?
You already know I'm gonna say plumbing.
Hmm.
Plumbing's my strongest.
What would you say you would need the most work in, or what's not your strongest point? Weakest point, rather.
Pools.
Okay.
Pools, but
Have you worked with pools?
I've worked with pools, yes.
It's
But
been a few
they were-
years.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, and the pool that I was working with before was old, so it wasn't. I didn't
Right.
really-
What, how do you overcome failure? If you do something and you just absolutely failed at it, how does that affect you? And
It's part of life.
okay,
Everybody fails. You always mess up. You gotta fess up.
Yeah, I'm all about accountability, which you also know. What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? Which kind of is similar to the first question I asked you, but tell me, you know, what are your greatest assets that you could bring to us, and what are some areas you feel like you need to work on?
I mean, I'm a good leader. I'm very positive. I'm just a positive person.
Right,
You know, I'm honest,
that's important.
very loyal.
So what qualities do you think a team leader should have?
Well, I mean, they can't be afraid to get out there and work with their guys or their girls, whoever they have working
Right.
with them. You know, just like I said before, you don't just go out and tell somebody to do something if you wouldn't do it yourself.
Right,
So,
exactly. Would you rather be liked or respected?
a little bit of both.
Right.
You know, I always want respect, but it's nice to be liked too, I guess.
No, absolutely.
I don't want anybody to fear me. That's definitely not. So I think I'd like to do a little bit of both.
How do you feel about reporting to a boss that could potentially be younger than you or that is a woman?
It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
You got that spot for a reason.
If I asked you to jump, would you ask how high or would you ask me why I wanted you to jump?
How high, where to?
What's your most ideal work environment, Kevin?
My most ideal work environment goes back to just a good, solid team.
Structure.
All about structure.
Okay. So, and so you feel like you could add value to our company by doing what? tell me a couple things that you think would really help us out here. Because, I mean, if you drove the property, which I saw you doing,
I'm gonna get that curb appeal.
get the grounds.
The grounds, every day, grounds. First thing in the morning, I like a walk through after lunch, and then before you leave at evening, as you're going to your vehicle or you're just driving out of the parking lot. Take a look.
Okay. Now, I know we've got some scenarios here, and some of them, I like to make my own up. So let's say it is, maintenance works 8 to 4:30 with a 30-minute lunch. So let's say it's, you're here after 4:30, it's 4:50, and a call comes into the office. They have a leak in their apartment. It's coming from where the water heater closet is, and the carpet's saturated, and we need somebody to come right now. And then the resident says, only my 15-year-old daughter is at home. So what would you do? And again, it's an emergency situation.
If it's an emergency and I get the call and I'm out by myself walking around, don't have any way of getting somebody in the office with me or anything like that, your phone's got a recorder on it. Go to the door, knock, enter, keep your phone on you, keep it recording. Let the tenant know, hey, look, I'm recording this just for my own well-being, for your safety, for my safety. You can't record anybody without their knowledge. But if I'm in the office and say you're here, hey, do you mind going to that unit with me?
Right. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you another scenario. It's 3 in the morning and you're carrying the emergency pager. You get a call that there is water bubbling out of the ground. There's a huge hole in the parking lot of one of our properties. The water and sewer lines are private. What is the course of action you would choose to stabilize the situation?
First thing, I'm gonna get to the property.
Okay.
Go ahead and assess the situation, see what I got going on. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna rope off around the big giant hose so nobody drives into the hose or walks into it, anything like that. After that, I'll go a little deeper, see if it's something that I can fix. I'm still gonna call my manager and say, hey, this is what's going on. I can take care of it. But if it's something that is out of our realm, that we just don't have the equipment or we just can't do it, all right, what do you want to do? Do you want to call? Who do you want to call? How do you want to go about it? Do you think we can do this, or I can do this to get it for the tonight? It's roped off. Nobody's gonna, you know.
Got it. And then this one's kind of hard if you're not looking at it, but I guess I'll give you. It's Monday morning. You and your maintenance tech are meeting at the property at 8 o'clock. You have new appliances and all the parts for the necessary repairs. You have the following items on your list of things to do for the day. Okay, you have a 12-year-old dishwasher that's not draining at the property, and the solenoid has already been replaced. Number 2 is you have a side-by-side clothes washer, and it's not spinning. Number 3, your exterior entry lights are out at two locations, so the property where you are and another property. You have 3 preps to get ready at one property, and you have trash to pick up at all 3 sites. So how did you get all those? I was rattling them quickly. How would you?
Wash and dryer, side by side, lights, 3 turns, and
Trash.
trash.
Okay, so what would be the first thing on the list?
My first thing, always pick up grass first thing in the morning.
Okay.
First things first, it's always gonna be, I understand there's some other major emergencies, but none of those are really considered major emergency in my opinion. We'll get the grounds picked up, and then after that, I'm gonna send somebody to get the lights, just to make sure I know they're done. At night.
Why would you pick the exterior lights over the rest of everything else?
At nighttime, it's a hazard. Lawsuits. I mean, just.
You sound like me. I'm like, it's a liability.
It's a liability.
Right.
It really is a liability. But one guy can take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, while you're picking up your grounds, you can change the light bulb.
Exactly. So you can kind of knock them both out.
Right. And while you're picking up grounds, you should be looking at that stuff anyway, because at that time, it's early enough where your lights are probably still on.
Right. We do a safety inspection on the lights. The maintenance does that once a week on Fridays.
And then after that, I'm gonna get my turns done. Depending on how many out in the plastic. I can,
Swap out.
yeah, quit using the Band-Aid and just replace it.
I hear you on
And
that
then,
one.
then the side-by-side, I mean, it's either a goat or it's gonna be your timer or something, it's simple.
Got it.
Plastics are easy.
Okay, so I guess, what is your long-term motivation in a company, or where do you see yourself in a couple of years? Like, what are your goals? If we were to hire you in as a, let's say you were hired in as a maintenance supervisor, which is the position you are looking for, correct? So you're supervisor, where would you like to see yourself go?
I mean, I wanna grow roots somewhere. I wanna find somewhere I can stay at, somewhere I can retire from, somewhere I can just, I wanna be able to say, yeah, I've been there 20 years, you know, great place.
Right.
But, you know, maintenance supervisor, maybe like a regional property supervisor, just move up as high as I can.
Okay, I understand. So, trying to think what else on here is a good question. It's tough when I'm interviewing someone I know, because I know a lot of
You
these.
know the
But,
answers.
I mean, anything else that you really want to let us know about yourself? I mean, you said I know your skill set. I know your leadership capability.
I mean, I work hard. I never stop learning. And I'll never quit learning. I mean, you know, I'm the type if I can't figure something out, I'll go home that night and I'll sit up and figure it out. That way I know that next time this is how to do it. It's just constant education.
Gotcha. And then I took you in a vacant unit, and you picked that thing apart.
Yeah, you know, to most people it probably look great, but I wouldn't. If it's not something that I would put me or my family in, I'm not gonna put anybody else's family in.
Right.
And even though that apartment looked good to most people, not to me. There's a lot of stuff that really needs to be kind of fine-tuned.
Anything stuck out that you saw, like?
Gaps between your light fixtures, the hole, which most people wouldn't think. I looked underneath the sinks, you know, the hole with the electrical exposed. It's under a sink, electrical. I know it probably had a disposal at one time, it probably might still had that, but it's not gonna work.
Got it. So,
Run another switch for
you were thinking of like a caulk job. I mean, it was all myriad of things that I,
the
you
caulking job,
know.
the laboratory, just.
Exactly. And then, of course, what was the first thing you went to test when you walked in? Look what I'm tall. I'm tall. I didn't say because we're on camera. I'm taller than you, but you went right to go push it.
The Smokies.
For sure.
And then check the front door to see if air pressure, if it's tight to the off apartment. That's how you know if you got gaps in your vents or anything like that.
I thought the most interesting thing you said when you looked under the range hood was what?
Those are
Our fire stops. Because I asked the same thing.
2-3 years ago, that's a compliance code. That's regulation that I thought.
I know. Well, I need to look and see because I've always used them, and I'm very, very
I
curious
swear
about
by them.
that.
I don't know why they're not in every unit.
I'm going to research it. So, is there anything else that you want us to know about yourself? I mean,
I think I'd be a good fitter.
you definitely.
I've been trying to get back working around with you
You follow me around town. I just, hey,
They had no openings for me.
Hey, I tried. But, all right, well, I'm going to turn the camera off. Do you have any questions for me that you want to ask?
No.
I think
It's pretty
you
cut and
asked
dry.
some,
Yeah.
your stuff. So, but I mean, you feel comfortable with the pool, or do you think you need to be brushed up in classes, or?
If they want me to take classes, I'll take them. I'm never going to turn down another certification.
Education, absolutely. I'm big on that.
But if it's something I got to do when I go home at night to learn it myself, then I'll do that too. It's no big deal.
But you work with pools. You just
Yeah.
also worked a lot. I've worked, hey, well, that's probably no
I'll learn it. It's no big deal. I've got experience with fountains, so at one property we had the fountains for the kids to play in and stuff like that.
Oh, a splash park.
Yeah. So I think the pool would be pretty easy.
The splash park is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, never again. Trying to think if there's anything else I really want to ask. Well, I'm going to send this video up to the owners. They'll look at it, review your quiz and your application and all that. So
Sounds good.
I appreciate you coming in. I'm gonna turn this off. Hopefully it's still running.